Yes. Geeta, you can start the program. Geeta, am I audible?
I'm on mute.
Okay.
Good morning. This is Geeta Mallikarjunan, CEO of HMA, and on behalf of Hyderabad Management Association, I welcome you to the TP program for the students of CMR Institute of Technology on the topic Career Opportunities in Finance by Mr. Tushar Kansal, founder and CEO of Kansaltancy Ventures. I welcome our MC members, past presidents, HMA members, the students of CMR Institute of Technology, their principal and faculty, and others who are present on this platform. I take this opportunity to welcome our convener of STP, Professor Dr. Renuka Sagar, our Vice President and Secretary, Mr. Chandrasekhar and Mr. Jayavan Naidu, respectively, and the speaker for the day, Mr. Tushar Kansal. And with this, I hand the floor to our president, Mr. Ramchandra, to take the meeting forward.
Thank you, Geeta ji. A very good morning to all of you. It is indeed a great pleasure that we are in front of you to take up this program today. I talk with Mr. Tushar Kansal, who will be talking to you on the career opportunities in the area of finance. I think it is a very relevant topic and it will be very apt for all of you. I feel it's a real privilege on my part to see that we in HMA are associating with you in the CMA College. I thank the management of CMA College, the principal and other important management committee members who have really extended this sort of support to us to be becoming a partner with you. I think Renuka ji is making all our efforts to see that we have a great interaction through a student chapter with you as joining as student members in our organization. The benefits would definitely be very, very, I mean, you cannot really measure them very frankly. They may look simple, but getting knowledge is something which is infinite. And whatever you add to that, it looks like a drop in the ocean. But always, it is the time when you really have to pick up more knowledge, understand, and then move on. HMA has been focusing on this on a very, very large basis, trying to reach out to the students, to the young managers, because everybody believes that you are the future. Younger generation is the future of the country. If you have a good, strong base, you have a strong knowledge depth, and you really can, understand yourself much better. Tomorrow, when you come out of this college premises and get into the environment of entrepreneurship or to the employment in the corporate sector, you'll find that, yes, the requirements are different. And the challenges are very high. And you have to get into a new world, which probably initially look difficult. But suppose you strengthen yourself by trying to add value by listening to this sort of lectures, which HMA does periodically, and many other bodies do this. So I think you should probably latch on to those particular chances and knowledge, links, and then try to strengthen yourself. I'll definitely say that you will be a beneficiary if you listen to such type of lectures. It's not from HMA alone, as I said. Now, gentlemen like Mr. Tushar, I don't think you'll get this sort of person who will probably talk about in a topic which probably will not talk in a textbook. It will not be there in a textbook. Yes, college teaches you a lot. That is a great foundation. The teachers give you a lot of inputs. But when you come out of the practical world, the outlook is slightly different. That's the reason why always the talk goes saying that there shall be an industry academy connect. And so that you people understand how it's going to look outside. I think Renuka ji has brought a good topic and a good speaker so that you will get benefit of this. I on behalf of HMA, welcome you once again. Thank the college management and thank all of you who are present over there, my own colleagues and after the students over there, and Tushar ji and my CEO, Geeta ji, Renuka ji, as I said, and Tushar ji, thanks very much for accepting our invitation. We feel it is a pleasure. Always we feel speakers will add value, and you are one such person whom we look forward to listen to you. And I think all the students at the end of the 1 hour session will have a great takeaways. I'll always keep saying that one lecture will not make big things, but they add value. They sow a seed in your mind, and that will help you to kindle many thoughts. So with these words, I thank all of you once again, and Tusharji, welcome, and namaste to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for telling about HMA and the programs. Now it's time for me to introduce today's speaker, Tushar Kansal. Tushar is a CEO of Kansaltancy Ventures. He's an accomplished professional, a thought leader, and a thought influencer. Over the years, Tushar has supported startups and growth stage companies in diverse tech and non-tech sectors. He was awarded the best startup supporter at India First Tech Startup Conclave 2022 by All India Council for Robotics and Automation. And he was also awarded Best Leader of the Year in Investment Management at Asian African Business Summit, which was held by Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry in 2021. He was also awarded Entrepreneur of the Year 2022 by Business Connect magazine. Tushar is a venture advisor with Loyal Venture Capitalist, the INSEAD-led Canadian Venture Capital Fund, having a core portfolio of over 200 investments in more than 46 countries. He is a mentor and a speaker at Entrepreneurship Cell of Indian Institute of Technology and Indian Institute of Management. Tushar has expertise of financial and business advisory, including creation of docs and collaterals. His expert opinion is often sought by leading business news channels, publications, to mention a few: CNN News, 18, BCTV, Business World, Business and Economy, etc., etc. At Consultancy Ventures, he aims to help change makers accelerate the dreams by means of venture capital, angel investment, and strategic services, leveraging his connections of 1,000 plus investors, venture capital funds, picking up the global deals with being sector agnostic. The average ticket size of deals accomplished is USD 200K to $50 million. He has experience spanning multiple sectors from venture capital, brand capital, Big Four consulting, Deloitte and Touch, to mention a few. And he received executive education in leadership from Harvard Business School, an MBA in finance from University of Delhi, and BTech from Technological Institute of Textile and Science, affiliated to Textile Institute, UK. So with this brief introduction, I hand over the session to Tushar Kansal. Over to you, Tushar.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ramachandar and Renuka ma'am and all the others at Hyderabad Management Association. I look forward to giving the best information I have in the simplest words, so that and I am very much open to any kind of questions which people might have. I feel that I'm very well placed to give this topic career options in finance, because I was very lucky. I happened to work for practically all the areas in finance in different corporates, and that also companies which were big in size. So I was at Deloitte and Touche, where I was handling due diligence, valuation, private equity, and then I shifted to buy side, which means investing the money. So I was at the venture capital arm of Times of India Group, where we were investing the money. And then I was in treasury, where we were looking after treasury operations, more corporate finance kind of role. And have covered it all. So I got a PPT done to take you all through, but let me give a context before we start. So basically, what I feel is that it is about managing money, right? I mean, finance is about managing money. So if you are not conversant with the factors which are driving the behavior of money, then you will lose out on any in monetary terms. So if you are not aware of how international debt functions, then if you are in a company and the company is saying, why don't you get us international debt, then of course you will end up having a bad deal. And similarly, for if you are investing in stock markets and you don't understand the stock markets, then you will end up losing money, or you will end up believing in tips given by people who really don't know much about the trade. So I will start with my PPT and then make it open for discussion later on. The PPT is career options in finance. Just a minute. So, so this is about me. You've already covered it. So these are the sectors. So I really don't know how to start because finance is such a huge field. End of the day, I mean, we are talking about a variety of sectors. So let me go one by one. I mean, first of all, any company needs to manage its money. So it needs to take loan from a bank. It needs to manage the collections from customers. It needs to manage the payments to customers. It needs to take different facilities from the bank, more on the trade finance side. Then it needs to also invest the money which is freely available with the company. So you can invest in different ways. So there is an expertise involved in that. Then the company might be doing transactions in foreign currency. So forex management is required. Then the company might also be wanting to put money and make a return on venture capital funds, private equity funds. So that is a different field altogether. Then the money which is circulating in the company has to be accounted for. So accounting will play a role. Then a third party looks at the accounts of the company. So auditing plays a role. Then the decision making of the company has to be done basis the numbers of the company. So assurance comes in. The company has a huge number of assets. It might be having different kind of assets on its balance sheet. So those have to be managed. So asset management comes into the play. uh, then the company will need advice. It will need advice on how to move ahead, how to take strategic decisions. So management consultancy will play a role. In all this process, banking plays a major role because banks come to you and they advise you on the different laws which are prevailing in the country, which you need to follow, like the corporate law, like the Companies Act, like the RBI norms, Reserve Bank of India norms, like the SEBI norms. SEBI manages the stock markets. So you have to be conversant with all the laws. So that is why you see people do CA. Along with that, they do legal, some law course also. And many times they do a CS also. So they are able to manage the entire functions in finance functions in a company. Then so data analytics is a new field. It is coming up. It has come up in a big way, where the company makes sense of the data available, maybe customer data, and analyzes the data and makes use of that data to take quality and good decisions. So data analytics is a new field. Then risk management is very important.
Sure, you got muted.
It says the host muted you. So I don't know who muted me.
Yeah, I think Karthik or somebody must have done to mute all of the participants.
Okay. So risk management is a big thing because, see, as you know, Ukraine and Russia are fighting, and there is a problem in the global trade because of the breakage of supply chains. Now that is a risk. That is a macroeconomic risk. Similarly, in response to the macroeconomic risk, the government of India clamps down on certain exports. Then the exporters face a microeconomic risk. Then the Reserve Bank of India might say that inflation is rising, people are not able to bear the rise in prices, so it might increase the interest rates of the loans. That is a micro risk. So risk management is a separate field within large corporates. So, I'm trying to give you a sense of uh, what all fields you can target to go in. Investment banking, if you look at it, is one of the most, people have always, who have, those who wanted to make a career in finance, they always looked at the top names in investment banking: Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, BNP Paribas, and earlier Lehman Brothers, which went down. So, it like we want to work on Wall Street. So that is the, all these IITians and IMs, they would always say we want to work on Wall Street. So investment banking is a very big field. It has different areas within it. Uh, it has debt, which is loans. It has equity, which is capital markets. It has research wing, and it has stockbroking and a number of things. I'll be happy to take you through one by one. So, first of all, investment banking. Just a minute. Yeah. So, the top institutions in India, if you want to make a career in investment banking: IIM, ISB, IIM Ahmedabad, and Bangalore. Institutions abroad are London School of Economics, Pennsylvania University, Columbia University. But as you know, nowadays the edtech companies have come up after COVID. And so you can actually do these courses online. So in all of the careers which I'll be discussing today, I'll be giving you options online also. So, you can do, there are three options given here: the PGCP 6-month program. You can do a certificate program, Imaticus, and then there is a school in Delhi, the Wall Street School. You can do a diploma from there. The famous national and international firms, ICICI Securities is an investment bank of ICICI Bank. It's pretty famous. Axis Bank has Axis Capital. Edelweiss, NBFC has Edelweiss Financial Services, and State Bank of India has SBI Capital Markets. Internationally, as I told you, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, they have ruled the financial market since hundreds of years. So, these companies, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, they are there since decades. They have been helping in M&As, mergers and acquisitions, selling companies, buying companies, raising funds, listing the company on a stock market. And so, all these areas are covered by investment banking. Then, course specification, you can do BCom honors. After that, CA clubbed with CS, or you can do MBA, or you can do a CFA. The CFA is very sought after because it makes you very proficient in financial analysis. So, you can do a CFA. Time period for becoming an analyst with an investment bank: 3 to 4 years of education. And if you go targeting associate and above, then masters. Um, and this is about investment banking. So there is some, the people who are super rich, they like to take help of investment bankers, but they feel that instead of taking help of investment bankers, they should keep an in-house team. So they will keep, they will take people from investment banks and keep them in their company. because they don't want to pay the fees, because on every transaction you do, you have to pay a percentage. Like maybe if you are selling a company, you have to pay 0.5 to 1% of the deal value as commission to investment banks. So big companies like Motherson Sumi, like companies which have big treasuries like Reliance, they keep their own team in house, and they poach people from reputed investment banks, and they pay them handsomely, because in investment banking you get a big bonus. Like Goldman Sachs will give you a salary of say 50 lakhs, but the bonus will be 2 crores if you achieve your targets. So the bonus is 3 to 4 times salary. So investment bankers are typically known for suits, conducting meeting in suits, uh, and being very well dressed, because they are the consultants who are advising uh, many different parties. Next is audit and assurance. So accounting, very well that companies have to do their accounting. Auditing means when an independent entity conducts the examination of the books of the company, the balance sheet of the company. Assurance service means that a company checks whether your numbers on the accounting side is they are correct or not. And for becoming an accountant, you need degree in accounting, you need degree in a related field, and you can do a CA. If you are going outside India, you can do a CPA, certified public accountant. These are the top institutes in India: Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, Mumbai, Narsi Monji, and Chandigarh University. Abroad, you can go to University of Texas, Austin, London School of Economics. So see, whenever it comes to making a career in finance, then London School of Economics will always come in the front, because of the simple reason that it is the oldest. So they have a lot of legacy benefit they have in terms of internal know-how. Best courses online which are available: Introduction to Financial Accounting, Udemy. There is a Coursera course. Then there is a US Northwestern Fundamentals of Accounting certificate program. Uh, and for audit and assurance, there are a huge number of companies which are there, like SS Kothari, Mehta and Sani. International companies like the Big Four, which are called the Big Four globally. They are PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte and Touche, Ernst and Young, and KPMG. And I have worked for Deloitte and Touche. Trust me, in 1 year of Deloitte and Touche, what I learned was more than 6 to 7 years of what I learned in my academics. Because you are working on live projects, you are working on an Excel sheet, you have a very small timeline. Within 2 months, you have to complete an assignment, because the fees is linked to that. So the culture is such that you tend to, your learning curve becomes very high. So if you are working for the Big Four, the whole industry recognizes you, that this guy is working in Ernst and Young, KPMG. Accenture used to be one company who used to be majorly into this field, but later on they shifted more towards consulting side. And these companies, Big Four, they also have investment banking arms. So they want to capture the whole business, so they entered into investment banking also. They are into management consulting also, so Deloitte Consulting is a separate arm. And so they have cross arms. So one company will open a number of companies. And the fifth company after the Big Four is Grant Thornton. Course specification: BCom accounting, you can do BBA in finance, BA in finance. But if you want to do hardcore audit, then CA and CPA you must do. And CPA is for abroad, and CA is for India. And MBA finance people, can do financial advisory work in big four companies, but they won't be able to do audit work because for audit, these companies already have a huge demand from CAs who want to join these companies. So they won't put a MBA in audit role. So next is asset management. Asset management means a company has real estate. It has shares, stocks of different companies. It has a huge number of maybe some foreign currency asset lying somewhere in other country. So all these assets need to be managed, right? I mean, time is money. So if a money is lying in a bank, it is earning an interest. If you put it in a savings account, it generates interest. But if you put it in a current account, then the bank does not pay you interest. Now, for a asset management company, they will always keep on juggling. They will do what is called financial engineering. So they will say that this money is lying free here, and there we have an opportunity to invest this money for 2 months. Let us take out the money from here and put it there. Then they will say that the stock markets of US is going to do better because the US is the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the US, is raising interest. So let us take out the money from the Indian balance sheet, put it in the US balance sheet for 3 months or 6 months. So asset management is basically about managing property, money, stocks, shares, bonds, commodities like copper prices, gold prices, uh, like steel prices. Uh, all these prices, the commodities are traded on an exchange. So you have to manage that as an asset manager also. So this is asset management. You can do CFA. Now there are two types of CFA. One is the US CFA. The other one is the ICFI CFA. My sense is that the US CFA is more recognized in these asset management firms and in the venture capital and private equity firms. And these are the institutes, the top institutes in India for asset managers: Loyola College, St. Xavier's, Mumbai, Christ University, Bangalore. Uh, Abroad, London School of Economics as usual, University of Chicago, Princeton University. And then the online courses are there on Coursera, Rice University, University of Geneva. The companies, you have ICICI Mutual Fund, HDFC Mutual Fund, Axis Mutual Fund, basically mutual fund arms of different banks. And then international, Blackstone. Blackstone is like, people will give their right arm to work for Blackstone, because I think Blackstone manages $10 trillion worth of assets. $10 trillion. That's like India's GDP. 1 year GDP is $3 trillion. Blackstone manages $10 trillion, like 3 times India's annual GDP, more than that. So you can imagine the scale of their operations. If Blackstone today says in its newsletter to its investors, we are bearish on the Indian stock market, surely the Indian stock market will fall by 500 points that day. Because when Blackstone is saying they are bearish, they might take out money, or they would have already taken out money. First, they would have taken out money and then announced that we are bearish. So people go after these research reports of these big asset managers. BlackRock is huge. Franklin Templeton, uh, Peter Lynch. Peter Lynch is the most famous stock market investor, asset manager, and he was used to manage Franklin Templeton's assets. And you can read his book. He has given the strategies which he used to deploy to earn handsome returns from those assets, stock markets and other assets. Now, time period of study, you can do CFA or along with MBA, and entry level 3 years, high level role 5+ years. Management consulting. Now, Bain is and McKinsey. Bain and McKinsey are and BCG, Boston Consulting Group. They are the top 3 management consultants in the world. Uh, Basically, suppose you must have read recently, Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, he announced that he needs advice. He needs advice on how to make the economy of Uttar Pradesh a value of $1 trillion. Now, to make the economy of Uttar Pradesh up to $1 trillion, he has given a management consulting contract to Deloitte and Touche. So they will meet up with the different departments, the IES who are handling those departments. They will do a research for 3 to 6 months. Then they will give consulting advice that what do you change? What laws do you change? What operations do you change? What activities you can do? Maybe you can do land acquisition simple, like any foreign company wanting to shift their manufacturing from China to India. You give them land very easily. You give them electricity and water connection very easily. You give them licenses very easily. You reduce the number of laws, the labor laws, so that you can compete with China. So management consulting would mean basically utilizing uh, all the management knowledge we have, and the different the different processes we have in the management to advise companies. Now, the top institutes, IIM Bangalore, Ahmedabad and ISB. Now, instead of London School of Economics, the top institute is London Business School, LBS. INSEAD France is, I know these IITians, they used to say that we need to do MBA from INSEAD. And one of them, he did not fill any other form. He filled one form, INSEAD France. He learned French so that he can do the interview better, because he wanted to enter into management consulting. Because Bain and BCG and McKinsey, they take majorly from INSEAD. So INSEAD is the top. HEC Paris is there. You can do online courses also. Let me assure you guys, the content-wise, online courses have all the content which INSEAD will have, which London Business School will have, which London School of Economics will have. So content is there if you want to learn. Nowadays, content is there online, and the best quality content. You have videos, you have, you have a lot of interactive ways in which the information can be presented to you. So you can do a Udemy course, and so main thing which people aspire for when they want to go to these institutes like London Business School and London School of Economics is the alumni network. And the second thing is the quality of students which come from different countries. So you get ideas and thoughts from different countries. So these are the two things which majorly attracts students. Now, companies, as I told you, Boston Consulting Group, Bain and Company, McKinsey, and then you have India, Alvarez and Marshall. Alvarez also has a US arm. They have an Indian arm also. Ernst & Young and KPMG. Now you can do MBA, and you can also do masters in economics to get into management consulting. Next is corporate banking. It is the most, if you want to become a banker, you can make entire career in your life in a bank, because once you learn the nuances of banking, uh, then you will rise very fast within a bank. And it is a lot of these things in the bank, they are operations heavy, so you have to learn operations. So if you go to any bank branch, you must have seen the manager is always busy, the people who are managing the branch are always busy. On the corporate banking side, like I was in a Russian telecom company, I raised 20,000 crore of debt for the company in 3 years. So we used to instead of we going to the banks that give us loans, they used to come to us, because we were very certified buyers, of certified takers of loan, that we will give the loan back. We had that kind of a standing in the market and that kind of corporate ratings. So rating firms like CRISIL, ICRA, Fitch, um, all these companies give ratings. So my company's rating was A minus. A minus, because we were a Russian company, and the Russia's country ratings were poor. So that is why our corporate rating was coming out to be A minus. But the banks knew that our company never defaulted on loans. We gave all our loans back. And I'll give you an example. In spite of making a $4.5 billion loss in India, my Russian company MTS, we repaid all the banks. All the 20,000 crore worth of loan was repaid back. Now you can imagine, compare this with any other company who made losses. Usually companies don't pay back the loans when they make losses. They just put the company into bankruptcy. So corporate banking is a very good career to have. Top institutes: Symbiosis, Narsi Monji, SP Jain. Abroad, Oxford University, HEC Paris, London Business School. Online courses you can do: Digital Leadership in Banking, Ematicus, and Coursera. Banks, the private good banks in India: HDFC, ICICI, Kotak, Axis, SBI, International, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, HSBC. I know like a lot of people who work for HSBC, very good bank. They will give you such good comfort, such good hygienic factors. The timings are good. You can go back in time. You will have bonuses, and you can shift to Hong Kong. You can shift to London also to work. So HSBC, and then course, bachelor's for the entry level and master's for higher up. Data analytics, this is a very new field, and I will advise all of you to look at it very sincerely, because it is going to be a driver for a lot of companies in the foreseeable future. So data analytics is so important that all the companies are covering up the time lost in COVID, and they are recruiting data analysts big time. So it is you basically, on the degree side, you require a bachelor's degree, but it is more than that. It is your how well you understand the data analysis. So how much have you upgraded yourself? So we always say that in careers there are ups and downs, and in companies also, they open, they close down. So all these things are not stable at all. So you should always upskill yourself and cross skill yourself. And if you are upskilling and cross skilling yourself, you will always find a good job. So the top institutes in India for data analytics: IIM Kolkata, Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, and Symbiosis. And you will be very happy to know that Indian Institute of Science Bangalore is rated in the top 100 global institutions consistently since the last more than 25 years. It never drops out of top 100. So that is the value of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Top institutes abroad: MIT, USA, Imperial College, London, uh, University of Texas, Austin. And online courses you can do from Google, you can do from IBM, you can do Macquarie University, Australia. Companies, TCS, Tata Consultancy, Reliance, Wipro, Infosys, international companies, Accenture, Cognizant, Capgemini, and Amazon. And to give you an example of how sought after is Indian talent with these companies, Cognizant has most of its staff in India, although it is based in the US and it is an international company. So they believe in majorly recruiting like thousands, like they will sometimes recruit 5,000, sometimes recruit 10,000. And the course specifications, again, bachelor's or master's. Corporate finance is very interesting because what happens is, like, if you want to make a career in finance, stock markets, you might have to shift to Bombay because that is the financial center of India. The stock markets are based there, and all the offices of foreign companies are based there. But suppose you want to, like, no, I want to stay in my city, I want to stay in Chennai, I want to stay in Bangalore, I want to stay in Hyderabad, I want to stay in Delhi, then you should make a career in corporate finance, because all the big corporates require corporate finance. They have to deal with banks, they have to deal with stock markets, they have to deal with foreign currency transactions, they have to do exports, they have to do imports. They should know how to hedge the currency risk, currency pricing. The rupee versus the dollar keeps on changing, so you have to hedge the currency. Otherwise, if you are importing or exporting, you will make losses on if the currency falls or rises against the dollar. So you require forex specialists. So anybody who wants to, who has a location preference, should look at corporate finance. And my advice to my young friends, girls who are out there, if you have a location constraint, look at corporate finance. Like, a lot of females, my friends, and there is nothing wrong in that. They feel that they should make a career in human resources, because HR people usually leave at 6 p.m. from the office. And some friends of mine, they say that we will make a career in corporate finance, so that we find a good company who has a corporate office in our city, and we will work there, so though we don't have to leave the city. Institutions for exposure: SPJ and Narsi Monji. There is LBS in Delhi. Abroad, Pennsylvania, Chicago, New York University. Courses, you can do 6 months course from IIM Bangalore, University of Oxford, Kellogg School of Management, 6 weeks courses. Companies: Tata Capital, Hero FinCorp, Bajaj Finance, Muthoot Finance, and all the corporates who are significant balance sheet, they have corporate finance. So international: Pricewaterhouse, Rothschild, Jeffries, Goldman Sachs. And entry level and high level roles is the same. You need masters for high level roles. And course specification: BSc in Finance and Economics, BBA in Economics, Finance, Commerce. Public accounting, I won't spend much time here because we have already discussed auditing. Accounting is mostly about CA, chartered accountant. So top institutes, you can do public accounting: University of Madras, University of Mumbai, Loyola College. Then abroad, Berkeley, Austin, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. And online courses: Northwestern. Then there is a CPA review course by Becker. Then there is Henry Harvin CPA course. National international firms, again the same as audit firms: SS Kothari, Mehta and Sani. The top four, the big four, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte, Ernst and Young, KPMG. A fifth one is Grant Thornton. And entry level in the US, you have to do a CPA along with your bachelor's. And for high level roles, you need to do a CPA along with your master's. In India, it has to be CA, but people club CA with law and CS or MBA. So, a balance of that. So if you are doing a balance of that, then you will find a huge number of companies who want to take you. That, this guy he knows law, he knows CS, company secretarialship, and he also knows accounting, CA. So this classmate of mine in Delhi, University of Delhi, Shikha, she used to study so much in college, her hair became white in college. And we used to tell her that, Shikha, why do you want to study so much? She said, I'm just completing 3 degrees. And once I do these 3 degrees, I will not study again, ever. And she did her MBA finance. She was already from SRCC, which is the top college here. Then she did MBA finance. She did a CA, she did a law, and she did a CS. So 4 degrees. And after that, she didn't study again, but now she's the CEO in Bombay, and she's drawing like 4 to 5 crore salary. Since many years, she's drawing a huge salary. So these are the advantages of these courses. Portfolio management. So when you invest in a number of stocks, so suppose you have invested in 5 companies, HDFC Bank, Reliance, L&T, you have taken the shares of those companies from the stock exchange. So that becomes your portfolio. Now you have to manage your portfolio. That you have to cut your positions in some companies when you feel that stock prices will go down. And you have to increase your exposure to some other companies. So that is called portfolio management. And Symbiosis, Pune, and Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute are the top institutes. Abroad is Chicago, NYU Stern, awesome institute, NYU Stern School of Business, really awesome. London Business School. And online courses from National Stock Exchange, you can do a course. You can do from University of Pennsylvania. And you can do also a 6 months CFA Portfolio Management Fundamentals course. National and international firms, Motilal Oswal, Kotak, ICICI Prudential. These PMS is Portfolio Management Services, PMS. International is BlackRock, Blackstone, Bravia, Brookfield, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, UBS. Like Vanguard manages $800 billion worth of assets. So these are huge companies. And course, a BSc in finance, BCom honors, BBA, and again you need a master's if you want to do a higher level role. Financial planning. So you must have seen your parents, right? That for our old age, we put some of the money in FD in a bank, fixed deposit, some money in a post office scheme, some money in LIC schemes, life insurance corporation. So they they do their financial planning, and they put some money in stocks. They will buy an apartment, so put some money in real estate. So all this is called financial planning. The top institutes, ISB Hyderabad, Patna, and IMS Pro School. Institutes abroad, University of Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue. Purdue is really nice. After NYU Stern, Purdue is amongst the top. And then best courses you can do online as well, like from National Stock Exchange. And famous national and international firms, Kotak Financial, Bajaj Finance, Dr. Reddy's, Byju's, Flipkart. And international, Amazon, Dana. And time period of study is the same. Like you have to do a master's if you want to be in the high level roles. Stockbroking. Stock broking is basically getting others to put money in the stock markets, and you make a commission on that, on the money which gets invested. Then the top institutes are Nifty Trading Academy, Surat, IFMC, New Delhi, and BSc Academy, Mumbai. Top institutes abroad are Amherst College, Columbia University, Cornell University. Best courses are NSC. So you get a lot of courses from NSC, National Stock Exchange. So you can do, them and make a career. NIFM is there. It also gives you courses in banking, and FinLearn Academy. And national firms are Zerodha, Grow, Angel One, Upstocks, and Zerodha. Zerodha is the number one startup in the field of stockbroking. And recently it crossed 1 crore subscribers. And Nitin Kamath and Nikhil Kamath are the founders, and they have never taken venture capital. They have just made it by putting their own money. So it is a bootstrapped startup. Bootstrapped means they put their own money. They never raised external money. And Zerodha is very well known. They will not cheat you. They will give you the best pricing. They will not use your stocks in doing their own trading like India Bulls and others used to do. So they are very clean company. And if you follow Nikhil Kamath and Nitin Kamath on social media, all their advice which they give on social media about stock markets, about whether to invest in futures, options, or you should stay away, and all those things, they are very genuine. And the dashboard of Zerodha is so clean, no extra stuff. And course specifications are the same. BSc in Finance Economics, BBA in Economics. Again, you need a master's if you need to make a top level career. Coming to almost the end of the presentation, the risk management. So as I told you, there are macro risks and there are micro risks. So right now there are floods in Pakistan. The whole country is shaken. It is a macro risk. Now, if you thought that if you didn't plan for your risk, you might have invested all the money of the company in the stock market. But when a macro situation arises like war, like COVID, like floods, then the stock markets fall. So how did you manage your risk? You have to hedge your risk. And that is where risk management comes. The top institutes, Institute of Management and Research, University of Jammu, Global Risk Management Institute, and top institutes abroad are Temple University, Georgia State, and one in Netherlands. And you can do these online courses, Excellency, University of Chicago, and IIM Bangalore. And the companies Aditya Trading, IRM India Affiliate, Care Ratings, and International Logic Manager, Metric Stream, and others. Again, you need a master's if you want to go in for higher level roles. Private equity, venture capital, this is my field. So investing in companies which are not listed on the stock market, investing in private unlisted companies, that is venture capital and private equity. Top institutes, so venture capital and private equity funds, they have very small teams, like hardly 4 to 5, 6 people. And when they invest the money of the investors and they make a return on that money after 5, 6 years, then 20% of the gain on the investment which they made, the capital gain, is distributed to the team. And whatever money they are investing of the investors are called limited partners. Whatever money they are investing of the limited partners, 2% of that money they deduct every year for meeting their office expenses, salaries, and electricity and other things. So people who work in venture capital funds and private equity funds, they earn a lot. It's a huge amount of money. And top institutes, SP Jain, Narsi Monji, Xavier Institute, Ranchi, abroad, Harvard Business School, London Business School, INSEAD, Paris. You can do online courses from Bocconi University. You can do from Duke University. Duke is very good. It is really nice. Then you can do from Oxford also. Funds, Nexus, Kotak Private Equity, Chris Capital, Elevation Capital, K Capital, Mayfield, Sequoia Capital. There are a huge number of funds. International, Blackstone, KKR, CVC Partners, Tiger Global, DST Global. Now if you want to make a higher level career, you have to do a MBA. If you are not able to do a MBA from these top institutes, then you do a CFA. You do a US CFA. And CFAs are taken by these funds. Business development strategy, this is something like management consulting. The top institutes are Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, Jain University, Christ University, Bangalore. Top institutes, INSEAD, France, University of Chicago, Duke University. Best courses, Harvard you can do online, University of Virginia online. You can do LinkedIn. You can do LinkedIn courses online as well. National firms, Sadhguru Management, BMGI, Data to Biz, International, McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young. Again, you need a master's if you want to go higher. This is about the presentation today. So I just had to rush it through because it was too long. So I hope you are able to understand, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take from here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes, dear students, do you have any questions? Kindly unmute and ask questions, or else you can put in the chat box. We will read it for you. Yes, students, can we have the questions, please? I know you must be feeling very hungry. It's lunchtime, students. Can I know, like, if any questions are there, you can put in the chat box. Or you can directly unmute. There are no questions, at least type it in the chat box, no questions, and we can go ahead with the next part of the program. Okay, fine. So I assume that there are no questions. So can we go ahead with the formal vote of thanks by Pradeep? Pradeep, are you ready?
Madam, there's just one point for the benefit of all students. I think
Yes,
my question
yes.
may help them. Sir, I'm Ramchandra here. Sir, it was a wonderful talk. I must definitely appreciate you have taken a lot of pains to collate so much information, not only on the different subjects that are prevailing in the finance management in the finance area. For most of the students coming out of the college, they can start thinking about all this. There are several places where they can keep on upgrading themselves after they do this base course that they have been doing. But in addition to that, even at the national level or the international level, and some of them being through the online mode, which most of them are through online mode. I think they will definitely add value, and quite a good number of students will be thinking of going for the chartered accountant course or cost accountant course, or even the company secretary in India, especially. I find many of them really offer these courses. I'm sure there is potential for all these things, and since every company requires financial people in the financial discipline, so there is always openings. And attrition, I'm seeing that many companies, even the IT companies, is at a higher level. So always there is an opportunity for people to get into those areas. I have one question with reference to the recent amendment that Government of India is bringing on modifying the role of CAs, cost accounts, and chartered accountants. Do you think it will have an impact on this area, sir? Will there be any impact on people opting for this, because it happens to be a very, 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 sought after professions? Hello.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, basically, the CA field in India. Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, sir, the CA field in India, there were a lot of problems because the CA association did not punish the CAs who were indulging in wrong accounting. So, the government of India is making CAs more accountable of the accounts which they follow. And I personally know a huge number of CAs who have stopped dealing in shell companies, who have stopped dealing in converting cash transactions to banking transactions and all those stuff which muddied their name. So now, if you recently saw the auditor of Byju's is refusing to sign their account since the last 2 years. So the government is questioning Byju's that why are your accounts not filed and why is the auditor not filing the accounts. So now there is a lot of public scrutiny. There is a lot of pressure on the CAs to not help companies do any fraud kind of wrong kind of transactions. And I think the new rules which will be brought out by the government will go a long way in correcting that.
So it only says that you have to be very diligent and be very honest and sincere in your job, whichever way you do. Yes.
Right.
Thank you, sir. I think it's a nice
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Pawan, can you propose the vote of thanks? Sorry, Pradeep, I'm so sorry. Pradeep, are you ready? Please.
Yeah, ma'am. Good afternoon, and all the
Pradeep, your voice is breaking. Pradeep, your voice is breaking.
Is it audible now?
I meant to say it's audible, but your voice is breaking.
Ma'am, having network issues, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, and hope all are doing fun and frolic well. I'm Pradeep from CMRIT. Got privileged to give oath of thanks on behalf of CMRIT and the entire fraternity of the institution. First of all, I would like to extend my most sincere thanks to HMA Hyderabad Management Institution for making today's event a sound success. Coming to the speaker of the day, Tushar Kansal, founder and CEO of Kansaltancy Ventures. We are extremely thankful for this valuable session, career opportunities in finance. The session is effectively helpful for the students who are opting for the specialization for finance. Also, not only giving career opportunities in finance, but also give an idea regarding data analytics, corporate banking. And thank you, the session coordinators like Geeta ma'am, Ramchandra sir. Ramchandra sir also given raised a question which would helpful for us. And also
Looks like it has gone off. Oh, he's gone
Pradeep?
offline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Madam, you can continue and close. Yeah. Renukaji, you also gone out. Yeah. I think we have some network issue. Yes.
Okay. No, she's back.
Sorry, sir. I got
Yeah. You also went out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir Ramchandra, sir, you would like to say anything, sir? You would
No,
like
I have just mentioned, yes, it has been definitely Tusharji. I think it has been a marvelous lecture because they've taken a lot of pains. I can see the number of screens that you put, amount of the data content that you have brought into the particular entire almost 1 hour session. It is really packed with information and knowledge. And I think, the students must realize that there are so many opportunities here. And you have to only be very careful and choosing what you can do, subject to your capabilities and all that. But sir was saying that most of the courses are available online. So some of them, after your basic course that you're doing right now, you can think of adding value to yourself and then going about and enhancing your capabilities, which is very much required. And I think you are at the right age. At the most, you are at the right age. And here you strengthen your foundations, Like sir was giving a beautiful example that one particular person, friend of our speaker, was saying that she has done 4 courses and then today she's sitting at a very top level, earning about 4 to 5 crores a year, which I think is, are not impossible things. It can be done, and they can be done. If not 4 crores, you can think of some bigger amount. But the only point is that you have to make an effort. You have to really understand where you are and how you really should go about. Our idea of HMA also is only this, to imbibe these sort of thoughts in you, to bring about a feeling that, yes, I can do something better and add value not only to yourself, for the organization that you work or the country as a whole. Talks like Mr. Tushar are really so useful. You'll never get this sort of information elsewhere. In fact, many of the things, I would rather admit that 50% of things that what Mr. Tushar said, I'm really not aware. So it is really a real mind of sort of, you give so much of insights to all of us to really ponder about them, pick one of those particular things, what suits you, and then please pursue it. I wish all the students great success, because after all, you are as I said, at the start of your career. Thank you, Tusharji. It has been a wonderful session. Really, we look forward to have you on our HMA platform on a regular basis. We are doing these sort of programs to many people, many students, many colleges. And I think you can keep on adding value.
Sure.
Definitely,
Thank you
yes.
so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Renuka. Thank you, sir. And ma'am, will you share the recording of the video with me, ma'am, please?
Surely, yes. Surely, yes. We'll do it.
Okay.
We'll do it. And I thank the management also for having given this opportunity to be a part of your own students and the entire fraternity there. Thanks a lot, and thanks to Geeta ji, and then of course to Renuka.
Bye to all students. Thanks.
So with this, we'll close the session.
Thank you, Tushar. Thank you, Tushar. Thanks a lot.
Closing the session. Thank you.
Yeah. Karthik, you can please wind up.
Yeah.